Welcome back, Nerd Squad. My name is Roya Destroya, and this is Top 10 Nerd. Superhero movies or comics do not frequently fall into the category of horror, much to my dismay because that would be awesome. However, some creations, despite being the good guy, can sometimes fall into a bit of a gray area where they may look pretty scary, act terrifying, or are just plain creepy and deserve their own horror movie. So let's take a look at the top 10 scariest superheroes. In the number 10 spot, we have Swamp Thing. DC's Swamp Thing is extremely freaky to look at to begin with, and it's even freakier when you realize the Swamp Thing is not a transformed super person, but rather an entity who absorbed the consciousness of a scientist named Alec Holland, who had to seek refuge in the swamp after thugs invaded his facility, and he never made it out alive. Swamp Thing actually did appear in House of Secrets for a standalone horror story, as well as his own 1982 movie, which was kind of a letdown, but did go on to become a cult classic. So time for a revival, anyone? Coming in at number 9 is Deadman. Boston Brand is literally a dead man walking. The DC hero was a former trapeze artist who performed in a red costume with corpse-like makeup, already freaky. Brand was assassinated during a performance. His spirit is allowed to live on and seek justice, and he does this by passing through and possessing the bodies of the living. Fun fact as well, Deadman's debut in Strange Adventures number 205 also included the first known depiction of drugs in a comic approved by the Comics Code Authority. Next up at number 8 we have the Hulk. We're all pretty familiar with Marvel's Hulk by now, so he doesn't seem as scary to us as he really is. What truly is terrifying about the Hulk, aside from the green giant smashing thing, is that he is the product of a fractured psyche, and something a lot of us can relate to. Bruce Banner lives in constant fear that his anger will bring out the Hulk. Meanwhile, thousands of people worldwide struggle with this exact fear that their emotional damage will lead them to become someone that they're not, or do things that they regret to the people that they love. A different kind of scary, but a relatable fear nonetheless. In the number 7 spot, we have Simon Dark. Simon Dark is a DC vigilante who operates out of Gotham City. In fact, he shares a name with a popular nursery rhyme in Gotham to make things more eerie. If you're good, he'll stay away. If you're bad, he'll make you pay. Even worse to know is that Simon's Frankenstein-esque appearance is due to the fact that he's composed of the bodies of 20 young boys, stitched together by a medical maniac with the help of a dark cult. Thankfully, he's chosen to use his zombie powers for good. Coming in at number 6 is Brother VOODOO. A Strange Tales alumni from 1973, Marvel's Brother VOODOO has been frequently likened to Doctor Strange, and even replaced him as Sorcerer Supreme in the New Avengers. VOODOO derives his powers from the Loa, the gods of, you guessed it, voodoo. And with that, plus his training from mentor Papa Jumbo, he has the abilities to summon the dead, mesmerize people, and you can bet he probably has a ton of those creepy pin dolls laying around. Next up at number 5 we have the Hanged Man. Image Comics' Hanged Man of Astro City haunts and watches over Shadow Hill, and he does so silently, eerily, just floating along with his head still inside a noose. He is often drawn to those who are in need of comfort after traumatic events, although I'm pretty sure the sight of a pitch black figure with a sack on its head drifting noiselessly towards me isn't going to exactly comfort me. Next up at number 4 is SHADOWHAWK. There are many people who have taken up the position of Image's SHADOWHAWK, so for this video we're focusing on one of the main representations by Paul Johnston. Paul was attacked and injected with HIV positive blood and ended up feeling like a prisoner in his own body. So what did he do with that? He took to the streets to rid them of the crime he had encountered, and in turn would break the spines of villains to leave them paralyzed, just as he felt. Easily the most sadistic superhero out there, but also one of the most complicated backstories. In the number 3 spot we have Professor X. Okay, wait a second. Professor X is like the ultimate good guy dad of Marvel, right? Well, usually yes. But have you ever imagined what it would be like to live in the same vicinity as someone whose telepathic powers are as immense as X's? Not only can he read minds, but he can control them too and alter memory, as he has done on his own team multiple times. What makes him scarier is that he will literally stop at nothing to defend his cause, and he always thinks he is doing the right thing. Well, newsflash, even villains think they are doing the right thing. For them. Coming in at number 2 is Ghost Rider. The movies really did not do Ghost Rider justice. Nicolas Cage knew this and he even declined to do a third movie. That's when you know your movie kinda sucked. Focusing on the Marvel Johnny Blaze character specifically, he gave up his soul to Satan to save his father, and with that deal he became imbued with the essence of hell. Fiery motorcycle, skeletal body, and the ability to use his penance stare to make his enemies feel every bit of violence they've ever inflicted on other people. Pretty heavy, pretty spooky stuff. And finally, in the number 1 spot is Morbius the Living Vampire. Marvel's story of Dr. Michael Morbius is that he was a brilliant scientist whose experimentation with vampire bats went completely wrong, transforming him into a pseudo-vampire. And with being a vampire comes the uncontrollable thirst for blood, not sparkliness. Classic Dracula inspiration with a superhero twist, he is a tortured and tragic soul that isn't even safe around those he holds dear, as is obvious when he kills his oldest friend and partner Nikos. Nothing tastes better than a best friend. So those are the top 10 scariest superheroes. Let me know in the comment section down below what hero you think would make a great horror movie. My name is Roya Destroya, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another nerdy list.